Grace from NFP Connect, and I'm here with Jenny Noblett from the Hunter Melanoma Foundation in our Celebrating Services segment. So thank you for being here, Jenny, or me being in your office. I want to know a little bit about the Hunter Melanoma Foundation and what it does for our community here.
Well, thank you for coming, Grace, and letting me be a part of this. The Hunter Melanoma Foundation is a charity that was formed by patients of the melanoma unit back in the 1980s. We're actually celebrating 30 years next year. It's our anniversary next year, and it was formed to raise funds in support of melanoma in our region, whether it be research, education, patient facilities, nursing facilities, and Two big telethons were held in Newcastle in 89 and 91, and one was just for melanoma, the other was for breast and melanoma, and it was the Melanoma Foundation volunteers that were involved in selling a lot of Art Union tickets during that time, and funds from those telethons actually went towards the building that we're in now.
Wow.
So they've always been very active and very involved in raising funds in the community. But what we do now is we tend to raise funds for research. There's a lot being done in research for melanoma, and in the last couple of years we're seeing some fantastic results with the clinical trials in immunotherapy. And we've always supported research. We've sponsored 10 PhD students over the time, and it's great to see what they've gone on to achieve. But we've known that research is one of the biggest investments that we can make into any cancer research or medical research. But because my office is here at the unit, I'm on hand if anyone needs any help as far as patients being cared for in their home, or if people need transport or are having difficulties, so the staff know that I'm here and they can come in and see me. But another good part of my job is that I get to go out to primary schools, and I talk to the children about the SunSafe message and why it's important. And as well as talking to them, they get a take-home bag, and it's got some little goodies in it, because we figured that it's not much point in standing there and talking to them for 10 minutes and they walk out the door and it's all gone. So they get a wristband, a fridge magnet, they get a sticker, they get some worksheets, and they get a little bag to take home as well. So they've got that continual reminder, because we do know how important it is from a very early age to actually look after your skin. Yeah. And so that's why most of the schools are what we call SunSafe schools, and they have all the no hat, no play, play in the shade rule. So basically when I go out and talk to the children, I'm just reinforcing that and giving them little reminders as to why. When we go to the high schools, we do pit stops with a number of the high schools in the Lower Hunter, and that's more pointing out how the UV damages your skin. And so we have a camera that shows the UV damage to your skin below the surface of the skin, which is very scary, I know, very scary.
Oh, yeah.
And what's really interesting is if I do it in a workplace, I can tell whether a person has grown up in Australia or not.
Yeah, wow.
And I've done photos of people in their 20s, and I've been able to say to them, you didn't grow up in Australia.
Yeah, wow.
Because we get that sun damage from a very early age.
Yeah. Oh, I got burnt to a crisp as a child. Like, we were pool children, so yeah, it's very very real. So tell us about how you get support from the community, and where do the funds come from for this organisation to exist?
Okay. Well, we rely entirely upon the community for our support. We don't get funding from anywhere else, and we do get really good community support, and I think it's because there's always been a high incidence of melanoma in this region, and that's why we have our own Newcastle melanoma unit. We're the only melanoma unit outside of a capital city in Australia. And so we do have a strong support base, and I think it's because most people that I talk to, have been touched by melanoma in some way.
Yep.
There's very few people in this region that you can talk to that haven't had someone they know, a friend, a family member that's been touched by melanoma. And I think that's why we get the support that we get.
Yeah, right. So from a community perspective, how can people donate? What activities can they participate in? What relationships do you have already with the community that you appreciate that you couldn't really do without?
What I normally suggest to people is to join us on Facebook.
Yeah, right.
Because then they know what we're doing and what's coming up, different activities we've got planned. We have a high tea coming up on the 8th of October. We've just had tickets to Les Mis. And so all these things go on our Facebook, so people follow us on Facebook. They could become a member of the Honey Melanoma Foundation. That's $11 a year, and they get their newsletter. And that, once again, if they're not online or on Facebook, keeps them in touch with what we're doing. And anything that people want to get involved in. It really is surprising the number of people who contact us and say, we want to do a fundraiser for you.
Yep.
And we'll work with them. We've just recently had one at Cardiff Bowling Club, and the bowlers got dressed up in pink and green and got really right into the spirit of it and had a great day, and there was entertainment and they did some raffles. We've had people do morning teas, afternoon teas for us. I get involved and I help them with that, and we also look upon that as not just fundraising but an opportunity to raise awareness.
Yep.
And one of the things we're actually doing at the moment with funding that we've received through club grants is raising awareness in bowling clubs.
Yeah, right.
Because we think that that's a very important demographic to actually be raising awareness, both to protecting your skin because they're out there in the middle of the day most of the time playing bowls, and it's great to see that there's a lot of shade provided now in bowling clubs, and so it's encouraging them to protect their skin, but also importantly to get skin checks on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's really good. So this has been Celebrating Services. I'm a big fan of Jenny. She's one of the matriarchs of the Hunter in fundraising, has been doing this for 24 years. And she does such an amazing job. So I just wanted to, if you need some details about Honey Melanoma Foundation, just have a look at the links below. And thank you so much for joining us. And thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Grace.